Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Bommer number 2100-640. The 2100 is a 3x3 screen door spring hinge that is full surface, steel-based adjustable tension button tip hinge. Okay, so the 2100 means all that. Let's dissect the part number now. 2100 is going to give you the fact that it's a full surface hinge meant to be applied to the face of the door and to the face of the frame. It is also a hinge that has an adjustable tension capability, and we'll get to that in a moment. It is steel based, and that is inferred in both the, well, in the part number, of course, it's inferred, but it's further inferred in the 640. And the 640 means two things. Well, steel based and oil rubbed bronze finish. The 2100 is a adjustable tension. First of all, it's a button tip. If you use your imagination, that tip there looks like the button on a coat. Adjustable tension means that you're going to get a tension rod, you're going to get a tension pin, and the fact of the matter is you'll use those two pieces to set the tension on the spring hinge. So right now the tension pin is not installed and there's no tension. When the hinge is installed with the tension collar pointed towards the top of the door, you'll insert the tension rod and turn it clockwise, and into one of those new holes that you reveal, you'll insert the tension pin. Okay, got it installed. Okay. Now I've got tension set on the spring hinge. This hinge is rated for up to 50-pound doors when you have 3 hinges installed, and quite frankly 2 is the common multiple on hinges like this. But if you feel that your door is heavier, by all means add a 3rd or install a 3rd. There's I think an argument to be made for more spring hinges rather than less, and it's not because I'm a distributor of spring hinges as much as the spring inside of here is, well, it's like a tugboat. They don't go very fast, but they can pull a lot of weight. And when you set the tension on the spring and then you store that energy and you release it, it's just a spring that is releasing that stored energy. When you have more springs rather than less springs, you have a better ability to control the door, even though the word control I don't think should be used with spring hinges, like you would if you had hydraulic control over a door. The point of the matter is the spring is very ineffective when it gets down to that last 10 degree of opening. And when you have more spring hinges rather than less, it's like that tugboat. There's more torque, there's more residual, there's more stored energy at that crucial final stage where you can set the tension a little bit easier so that the door closes a little bit slower and still has enough stored energy to close fully without slamming. So the control comes into that sort of aspect. Otherwise, 2 spring hinges are outrageously common. That's all the time. Now, there are options on these spring hinges, and here's what I mean. This full surface model is also available as a half surface model. Half surface is where one leaf will mount to the frame as it normally would to the rabbet of the frame, and the other leaf mounts to the door. This is also available in a non-adjustable tension, which would be the the half surface adjustable tension would be the 2200. The non-adjustable the non-adjustable version with a loose pin, doesn't have a button tip, just has a pin on the end of it, on both ends, is the 2960. You would use that if it was economy. The fact that you can't set the tension at all, I don't sell a lot of that stuff, and for that reason alone. The 2980 is a adjustable tension with a button tip like the 2100, but is a slightly smaller size, 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. So the 2100 is a 3x3. Now, speaking of that, there is a link below this video to a document called Template, which will allow you to review all the important dimensional properties of this hinge. And that 3-inch really just comes into reference in terms of the overall height of the leaf itself. And on that page are the balance of all the important dimensional properties. You might be attempting to match existing, and that template would be a good idea to review prior to, or at least helping to eliminate any guesswork that you might have. Screws are included in a complementary finish. And this is going to be available, of course, in all of the common finishes from Bommer. Your brass, bronze, chromes, satin, polished, oil rubbed naturally. Okay. Very nice quality hinge. Sold per hinge. When you buy one, we're going to send you one. Last thing I'd like to point out to you is the Bommer logo. And right above it, it says Made in USA. That's a fact that Bommer is quite proud of, as am I, to represent them. If you have any questions on the Bommer 2100 full surface adjustable tension button tip hinge or any other Bommer product, please feel free to reach out to us. And speaking of the rest of their product line, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all the Bommer items that we supply, but a link to their product catalog, which is something that you should, in my opinion, absolutely refer to, because the name Bommer is synonymous with spring hinges. Not so much the wooden screen door type 2100 hinge, but where you're going to see Bommer all the time are those large double-acting spring hinges that you'll commonly see between a kitchen in a restaurant and the dining area. That's where you're going to see them all the time. But they have a lot more material, much greater offering than just spring hinges. Commercial, institutional, architectural, residential hinges. Lavatory hardware. They have a great offering of lavatory hardware. Also door bumpers. If you've ever been in a warehouse and someone has walked up to a pair of doors, maybe double acting on spring hinges, and hit the doors with the cart, and there's large pieces of curved metal on them, Bommer makes those as well, door guards. All that can be reviewed from the catalog. Thank you very much.